All right, let's talk about something we've all felt. That total whiplash you get from working with AI. You know, one minute it's an absolute genius, and the next, it's just plain baffling. So how are we supposed to master these strange new digital partners? Let's dive in.
You've been there, right? You ask an AI to write a complex piece of code, and boom, it's flawless. Then you ask it a simple logic question, and it completely faceplants. It's this wild roller coaster of brilliant and boneheaded. So what in the world is going on? What are we missing here?
And here it is. This is the big aha moment, courtesy of author and researcher Ethan Mollick. The fundamental mistake we're all making is treating AI like a simple, predictable tool, like a calculator or a spell checker. But it's not a tool, it's a partner. And that means you have to learn how to manage the relationship.
Okay, so if it's not a tool, what is it? Well, the best metaphor is to think of it like a brand new intern. And this is a very, very weird intern. It's unbelievably brilliant, has read basically everything ever published, but it has zero real-world experience, absolutely no common sense, and yeah, sometimes it just makes things up with incredible confidence.
This right here is the mindset shift we all need to make. Old software was predictable, right? You click a button, the same thing happens every single time. It obeys. But AI is a totally different beast. It's probabilistic. It's making incredibly educated guesses based on patterns and huge amounts of data. It doesn't just obey commands, it needs direction. It needs context. Just like that super smart but clueless new intern.
So, how in the world do you manage this brilliant but totally unpredictable new partner? Well, the good news is there's a kind of user manual, and it's built on 4 key rules for working together for building what you might call co-intelligence.
Just 4 rules. But trust me, if you can get these down, you'll go from being constantly frustrated with AI to getting some truly incredible results.
Okay, let's break down this playbook. First, always invite AI. This means you use it for everything, even for tasks where you're sure it's going to fail. It's the only way to really learn its weird strengths and weaknesses. Second, be the human. This is crucial. You're the boss. You are ultimately responsible for its output, which means you have to check its work. Third, and this one's a bit wild, treat it like a person. Telling it to act as an expert financial analyst or act as a creative copywriter actually works. It helps focus its massive brain on the right data patterns. And finally, my favorite, assume it's the worst. This isn't about being negative. It's a reminder that the AI you're using today is the least powerful it will ever be. The rate of improvement is just staggering.
All right, this brings us to what is maybe the single most important concept for getting AI right. It's called the Jagged Frontier, and it's the real reason AI feels like a genius one minute and a total idiot the next.
See, for us humans, difficulty is pretty much a straight line. Counting is easy, basic algebra is harder, calculus is really hard. It's linear. For AI, that line is completely scrambled. The boundary between what it finds easy and what it finds impossible is a jagged, bizarre, unpredictable mess.
I mean, just look at these examples. Things that are child's play for us, like reliably counting the words in a sentence, can be weirdly hard for an AI. But then tasks that are monumental for a human, like passing the bar exam or writing a perfect Shakespearean sonnet on demand, are walk in the park for it. You absolutely cannot trust your human intuition to guess what it'll be good at. The only way to find out is to constantly poke and prod at that jagged frontier.
So once you start to get a feel for this jagged skill set, how do you actually put it to work? Well, it turns out there are 2 main ways that people are finding success, and they're called the Centaur and the Cyborg approaches.
And as we go through these, think about your own personal style. How do you like to work? Do you prefer to have clean, separate tasks, or are you someone who likes to mix everything together in a continuous flow? Your answer probably tells you if you're a natural Centaur or a Cyborg.
It really all comes down to your workflow. Centaurs split the labor up. Think of it like a relay race. You do the high-level strategy and thinking, then you pass the baton to the AI to generate a first draft, and then it passes it back to you for editing and finishing touches. Cyborgs, on the other hand, are totally different. They integrate the AI completely into their process. It's this constant, real-time loop of co-writing, co-coding, co-creating. One isn't better than the other. They're just 2 different paths to winning with AI.
Now, let's zoom out for a second from just you and your computer to the entire workforce. Because one of the most shocking things AI is doing isn't helping the experts at the top. It's helping everybody else. It's creating something called the Great Leveling.
This data is just wild. Studies show that when you give AI tools to your top-tier experts, yeah, their performance gets a little bit better, a minor gain. But And this is the amazing part. When you give those exact same tools to your novices and average performers, their output goes through the roof. It's a massive gain. AI acts like a turbo booster for people who are still learning, dramatically closing that skill gap.
And the implications of this are enormous. I mean, if a brand new junior employee can suddenly produce work that looks like it came from someone with 5 years of experience, what does that do to the value of experience itself? How do we train people? How should companies even structure their teams? This isn't some far-off future problem. This is happening right now.
So this all leads us to a final and, honestly, a pretty profound question. If AI can do so many of the tasks we used to think to find our jobs, writing, making art, creating strategies, then what's our value? What's left for us to do?
This quote really just says it all. The old ways we used to prove our worth or measure our knowledge, things like homework, are becoming meaningless when an AI can do them in 5 seconds. It forces us to stop asking, can you produce this thing, and start asking much, much deeper questions.
This is what your new job description looks like. Human value is shifting. It's moving away from the raw act of creation and moving towards skills like curation, judgment, and taste. Your job isn't just to write the report anymore. It's to use your human expertise to look at 10 drafts the AI made and decide which one is actually right. Your value is in asking the right questions and ultimately deciding what actually matters.
And that leaves us with this one last, absolutely mind-bending thought. Everything we've talked about today, all the weirdness, all the power, is based on the least capable, the absolute dumbest version of AI you will ever use for the rest of your life. The pace of change is just off the charts. So the real question isn't just about how we adapt to the AI of today, it's, are you ready for what's coming tomorrow?